When we started looking for property to homestead, we immediately ruled out every state that had an income tax. When we deleted deserts and factored in weather, it basically came down to either Florida or Tennessee.
30 acres came with this beautiful waterfall.
With families scattered throughout the East Coast and a love of traveling, we wanted somewhere within about an hour of a major international airport. We wanted at least 10 acres, and preferably a lot more than that. That made Florida way too expensive, so we zeroed in on the Nashville, Tennessee area. And I'm really glad we did because it's so beautiful, and the people, even the bureaucrats, have been so nice and accommodating. We were only looking at unrestricted land outside of city limits. It was October when we checked out the property for the first time. This was the 9th of 13 properties we toured as we did a complete loop around Nashville. And for this one, it was love at first sight. The only way to describe it is that there was a certain magic to this property. The stream still flowed even though Middle Tennessee was in the midst of a 2-month drought. There were rolling hills, but not unbuildable cliffside like the property that we had toured earlier in the same day. It was mostly wooded, full of beech trees, and we even found a hickory nut. But there was enough of a clearing within a reasonable distance to the road that we knew it wouldn't be so hard to carve out a building site for the house. The property is about 30 acres and pretty rectangular, so all the land is usable and somewhat insulated from neighbors. And a lot of the woods is in a hollow, or should I say holler, which gives it this vibe that essentially blocks out the outside world. Like Disney World, but without destroying our childhoods with trashy woke remakes. We made an offer and closed in December. Then we started planning.
So when I first took a look at this property, I didn't even see this spot, and I made an offer on it and knew I wanted to buy it before I even saw this. But what this is behind me is a waterfall that is technically half of it's mine, because this river is the dividing line between two properties. So 30 acres came with this beautiful waterfall. Very happy about that. I mean, of 30 acres, I just entered the property right here. This is going to be the first build site because we're going to want to be get stuff into the property a little easier for construction. And we're going to do off-grid things, at least as backups. But in the beginning, we may also connect to the grid. It's all going to come down to cost. Ideally, we'd want something that's redundant. We want a redundancy for everything. So, electricity, the stream should be a great source of that. Obviously, solar panels. And then if we're connected to the grid, there's really no downside to that. Same with water. I think we'll have plenty of water. We'll do rainwater, but we have the constantly flowing creek as well. And some of it, I think it's technically spring water because it's coming. It's not like bubbling out of the ground. That's kind of how I always pictured springs, but it's coming out of the side of the hills. So I think that's also considered spring water, and that's already going to be pretty filtered. We did an initial test on the water. Seems to be pretty clean and pretty good. We're going to do some more serious tests, and we're going to do some serious tests on the soil. Believe it or not, even though there's nothing on the land, it did come with a natural refrigerator. Whew, ice cold. So while we're here, we decided to stake out a potential 32 by 24 concrete pad that we're going to be using in order to do a passive solar home so that it can absorb the heat in the wintertime and keep cool in the summertime. So we decided to stake that out because ideally we're going to do a lot ourselves, but we're not familiar with doing foundations or pads, and if we can get that done before we get here to build, that would just make things go a lot quicker. So you can see that would be the south east corner, and this would be the northeast corner. So ideally, this would be the door. You walk in here. That's the northwest corner of the home. Southwest corner. It looks kind of small when it's outside, but this would actually be a 24-foot long room, which is actually huge. It would be a pretty open floor plan. So that's the thought. That's the thought right now.
Less than $10,000 got us connected to electricity, county water, and ultra-fast fiber optic internet, a huge plus especially when you work from home. Before we moved onto the property, we had a septic tank installed, and we had water lines and a hydrant put in. And at that point, all we had to do was buy an RV to be living in the lap of luxury with all the modern miracles of human civilization. I'm sure this video makes the whole process seem way easier and seamless than it was in reality. It took a lot of time, work, and effort to even get this far. All of these things, the process and the planning, I plan to talk about on this channel. And of course, this is just the beginning of what we plan to do with this amazing 30 acres in Tennessee. We have springs to develop, trails to blaze, gardens to plant, food forests to grow, swimming holes, saunas, gazebos, campsites, and maybe even a house to build. One step at a time. But definitely subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you want to be a part of this homesteading journey from day one. There's so much more I want to share with you.